Are you someone that's looking to play RuneScape on a second monitor or in the background and make some money while you're at it? Well, you're in luck. There are some really great AFK money-making methods that can earn you a lot of GP while you're playing in the background or on that second monitor. You can check out the timestamps in the description down below to jump to each AFK method. Now let's start with the first method, AFKing Frost Dragons. Starting with the first method, we have Frost Dragons. Now there are actually 3 different methods you can do when you are fighting Frost Dragons, but there are some hard requirements. One being 85 Dungeoneering. Also, to make this method AFK, you will need either the Bone Crusher upgrade, which allows you to basically teleport the bones straight to your inventory, or the Underworld Grimoire 4, which may be a bit easier to get for some people. Preferably, you will have the Death Note relic along with the Bone Crusher upgrade. That way, noted bones go straight to your inventory. A cannon is also required for the AFK method, and a Dwarven Siege Cannon is highly preferred, especially for the most AFK method that I'll be showing you. Also, some other recommendations: you will preferably want the Dragon Slayer perk on some gear, so you have a bit extra damage. You'll want the Soul Split Curse, and some decent combat gear and stats. As for the 3 methods I'll be showing you, method 1 will be the most AFK. You get about 25 minutes of AFK time, so it's absolutely insane. The GP per hour isn't great, it's only about 3.5 mil profit per hour. Method number 2 is semi-AFK. You'll get about 5 to 10 minutes of AFK time. The main thing, just watching out on your health and, of course, your super anti-fire. And with this method, you should be able to make around 8 mil per hour. It's probably the preferred AFK method. There's still some pretty good AFK time, but also some pretty good profit. And then method 3, it is an active method, so not AFK, but if you are choosing to do this method fully active, you can make a lot more GP per hour. So obviously it doesn't really fit into the AFK part of the video, but if you do want to have an active method as well when you're actually playing the game, then you can do this, about 15 mil GP per hour, and there is a very little AFK time. So let's start by looking at method 1. So to start any of these methods, you will want to just bring some decent combat gear, preferably not melee. You do want some sort of ranged combat, so I'm going with range in this case. As for the relic loadout, it doesn't really matter too much. Obviously, some PVM related relics would be better. But one relic that is really great, especially if you have the Bone Crusher upgrade and not the Underworld Grimoire 4, is the Death Note relic. It allows all bone and ash drops to be noted, so the Frost Dragons will go straight to your inventory in noted form. If you don't have this relic and you also don't have the Underworld Grimoire 4, then you will want to use Magic Notepaper instead. So to fight the Frost Dragons, you will want to go to the Ice Dungeon. It is the dungeon in Asgarnia, but if you do have 99 Dungeoneering in the Cape, you can just teleport there using that. I prefer using the Penance Aura. It does make this method much more AFK. You can camp Soul Split while you're doing it, and then you can just hop in the area and you can see lots of Frost Dragons to fight. Now, if you are looking to do the fully AFK method, the 25 minutes of AFK time, the cannon is absolutely necessary. And the Dwarven Siege Cannon does 2 times the damage, 200% damage, so that is going to be highly recommended. You'll also need the Restocking perk. Now, you can get this from the Artisan's Workshop by exchanging some different reputation or respect there. And once you have the Restocking perk, you're able to do this fully AFK method. So really just place the cannon where I put it right here. You will see that a few Frost Dragons are able to hit you, so you do have to find the sweet spot to stand. I prefer to stand in the corner here because this Frost Dragon, it can hit you quite often, and you will notice that it does a lot of damage when it does its Fire Breath attack. So you'll either need to use your super anti-fire, and you could possibly use a potion reservoir to make it a little bit more AFK, or preferably just bring a dragon fire shield and literally just AFK in this corner, let your cannon kill all of the Frost Dragons, and you'll just notice the Frost Dragon bones build up in your inventory. Since you have the restocking perk, once your cannon is out of ammo, as long as you have enough cannonballs in your inventory, it will automatically restock it since you're close enough. And you can just AFK here as long as you don't log out, and as long as the cannon is still active. You'll notice in the bottom right corner of my interface, it says 23 minutes on a cannonball icon. And that just means that my cannon will stop working in 23 minutes. So every 25 minutes, that's the length of the timer, you will have to go over and click the cannon to make sure it's continuing to work. So that's why it's about 25 minutes of AFK time. And it's not really great GP per hour, but if you want something that is hard AFK, this is a pretty good method. Now, alternatively, with method 2, it's a bit more obvious. You just place the cannon in the center of the arena. It could be either left or right side, but I just choose to place it right here. And then you'll want to have your revolution action bar set up, and you just want to AFK in combat with the Frost Dragons. Now, this method is a little bit more dangerous and more click intensive because you need to watch your screen, make sure your health isn't going down because Frost Dragons can hit pretty hard every once in a while. And you want to make sure your anti-fire is always active. So that is really important. You could maybe bring a Dragon Fire shield and a one-handed weapon if you wanted to play it a bit safer, although your kills per hour would go down. A potion reservoir, like I mentioned, will help make it a little bit more AFK, but there's just a little bit more to pay attention on if you are using method number 2. Now, method number 3 is very similar to method number 2, except that when there are no Frost Dragons around, when you've killed the ball, you just surge over to the other side and kill the Frost Dragons on the other side of the area while your cannon is killing the ones that respawn in the first one. And so this will almost double the amount of Frost Dragons you're able to kill per hour. And when testing, I was able to kill around 700 to 800 Frost Dragons per hour doing this method. And it could probably have been optimized a little bit better with the gear. So overall, 3 different methods within Frost Dragons that you can use. One fully AFK, one semi-AFK, and the one that is a fairly active method. The next moneymaker we have is manifesting Ectoplasm using the ritual. So basically you're just going to be creating Ectoplasm. It is extremely AFK, about 2 minutes of AFK time, and the requirements include 95 Necromancy. 99 Necromancy is highly recommended because you will get the Necromancy cape, and that will just get you a free alteration glyph, which you can then use on a multiply 2 glyph, or ideally if you have 103 Necromancy, you can use a multiply 3 glyph. And then also, if you are going to be doing this method, you should just buy an alteration necklace. It will increase the amount of Ectoplasm you receive by 20%, so that is going to be a huge buff. And plus the necklace, it isn't really that expensive, and it will help you for all necromancy rituals that you do. For this method, you can expect to make around 10 mil GP per hour, and for the necromancy XP, you can get about 140,000 base XP per hour, and that is just doing the rituals, so you're not doing any of the ritual disturbances or anything like that, which will of course get you a lot more XP if you're doing it, but that also makes the method not as AFK, and you won't be making as much money because you won't be able to do as many rituals per hour. So to start this method, you have to do something a bit boring, which is just gathering buckets of slime. So if you have an ectophile, just teleport to the ectofunctus. You'll want to bring some magic notepaper because you're just going to be noting buckets of slime in the basement here. It will take about 8 minutes to get enough buckets of slime for a full hour of rituals. You will be going through about 580 buckets of slime per hour, so depending on how long you want to do it, that's how many buckets of slime you should note. Now, if you do have the Mauritania legs 2, 3, or 4, you can get some free daily teleports to the Ectofungus slime pool, which then you can just collect some of those buckets and then go bank them rather than using magic notepaper if you want to save a little bit of money. And then if you do have the hard or elite Mauritania achievements completed, you can get 26 or 39 buckets of slime per day just by talking to Robin. So that is another way you could just get some buckets of slime every day pretty fast. Now, once you have enough buckets for however long you are going to be doing this method, you can just put them in the ritual storage and you can start the ritual. You will want to make sure you bring your ritual setup, which includes all your ghostly essence, ectoplasm, candles, things like that, and make sure you have that alteration necklace. Now, you will want to be doing the manifest ectoplasm ritual. So once you set all of the foundational glyphs for that ritual, you can then set the alteration glyphs and you'll want to do the highest multiply you have active. Do remember you can boost your necromancy level with either a necromancy potion, overloads, things like that to have access to higher level glyphs. So ideally you will want to boost up to 103 so you will have access to the multiply 3 glyph so you can make the most amount of money per hour here. Once you have it all set up, you can start the ritual, and this is the AFK part. You could see the timer at the top. You really just have to wait until it's done, and the ectoplasm will go straight into the storage and just start another ritual. So it is a really awesome AFK moneymaker once you have everything set up, but it does just require a little bit of time to set the method up. Gathering Bik Troves is another really great AFK moneymaker. It's also a pretty good training method as well for the various skills. You will require level 88 Hunter, Fishing, Mining, or Woodcutting. Hunter is preferred, however, and you will also want an Overcharged Pontifex Shadow Ring. A Grace of the Elves is highly recommended, and also if you are doing the Hunter method, a Magic Butterfly Net and Trapper outfit will help boost the XP per hour. You'll be able to make about 6 mil GP per hour, and if you are doing the Hunter method, around 400,000 to 500,000 Hunter XP per hour as well. And all of this is with AFK times around 2 to 3 minutes. So first, when setting up this method, you will want to go to the Memorial of Guthix. If you do have the Decree of Mortality power or energy, then you will want to make it active. This will make it so you get memory shards when you train Hunter, and it will essentially make it so you break even on your Sign of the Porter charges in your Grace of the Elves. So it's highly recommended to get this boost active before you start the method. Next, you'll want to go to the Croesus front. You can go there just by teleporting to Croesus if you have a kill there before, and so go to the PVM hub or the Max Guild to get there. Once you're here, you'll see various different skilling nodes. So I'm going to be going to the church area where the hunter nodes are. But like I said, you can also do this with the fishing, woodcutting, and mining areas as well. The only difference is that they don't have the Memorial of Guthix ability, which allows you to sort of break even on the Sign of the Porter charges. Now, you don't even need Grace of the Elves, you don't need to have it active, but it makes it much more AFK if you do. Otherwise, your inventory will fill up with resources and you'll need to drop them on the ground. So if you want an extra AFK, then definitely try doing it this way. Now, you'll see that I just got an Elder Trove of Bik. You get one of these every 6 minutes if you have the Overcharged Pontifex Shadow Ring. So that's why it's highly recommended to have that, because that's where you're going to be making your money. The actual resources from these nodes are basically worthless, and all of the money is going to be coming from the manuscript of Bik pages within the Elder Troves. Now, it is a bit rare to get these pages, but if you do stock up enough of them, you'll end up bringing in quite a few Bik pages and make some pretty good GP. Another thing you might notice with this method is that there are 4 decaying guards within this church. If you do have 92 Hunter, you will be able to gather resources from the one that is sparkling. That will actually get you more Hunter XP as well, so it is preferred that you do that. It isn't required, you'll get the Elder Troves from any of them, but it just gives you a bit extra XP per hour. You can see that if you're doing this method without much downtime, then you will be getting around 500,000 Hunter XP per hour, which is really great. And then you'll also be getting these memory shards in your inventory. So every once in a while, if you want to replenish your Grace of the Elf charges, you can just open the memory shards. You want to make sure to turn them into the lowest tier porter. That gives you the most charges per memory shard. And then you can just charge up your porter and you'll basically break even on charges. Like I said, the drop rate for the manuscripts of Bik are quite low from these troves, around 2% to get 2 or 3 of them, but you'll be making some really good GP once you do hit them. So it is more of a long-term method. It's not a method you can really just do for an hour and expect to make quite a bit of GP. But if you do this method for, a number of hours, or even just use it to train your hunter, you'll be making, on average, around 5 million to 6 million GP per hour. And so those are the 3 AFK money making methods that I wanted to share with you guys today. If you have any questions about any of the methods, or even if you have some methods that you want to share, mention them in the comments down below. And I look forward to seeing you all next one. Peace.